Welcome back to another episode of We Are Liars, a Pretty Little Liars podcast. I'm Liz,
And I'm Michelle.
and we are discussing season 1, episode 11, Moments Later. Original air date January 3rd, 2011. So we've made it into the new year. Written by Joseph Doherty, directed by Norman Buckley.
Now, you told me in real time this took place 5 months later, but in the show, it's literally moments later.
Moments later. Yeah.
Hence the
So
title.
I wonder, did the cast film some parts of it, right away and then some later or all later?
Yeah, I'm
They
always
don't
curious about
seem
that.
to look different, not that that's like a huge indicator, when someone looks different.
But
Like, oh, haircuts.
but the show came back 5 months later, but was filming 5 months later.
Right. So maybe it wasn't.
Right. It wouldn't have been
Yeah.
5 months later. That doesn't make sense. It'd have to,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, moments after Hanna is hit by a car, the liars' worlds turn upside down as A is no longer content playing a game of cat and mouse. My little poison tonight is juice. It's straight up juice. You get it while you're recovering in the hospital. Obviously, I have a cold, need some nourishment, some vitamin C. Pick whatever juice you want. Apple juice, orange juice, cranberry juice. It's dealer's choice.
What juice are
Sip
you
away.
choosing?
I've always been an orange juice girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do OJ anymore.
Really? What is it about that you don't?
I think if it's freshly squeezed, perhaps, but like I don't know, it's just so sweet to me.
Hmm.
I like when you're on vacation and you have like a fancy breakfast, so there's like peach juice or pear juice, where I'll
Yeah.
go for that, or cranberry juice, a little more tart.
Yeah. I love cranberry juice as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Whole Foods sidebar, Whole Foods pressed orange juice, which they haven't had in so long since like before COVID, because it's like make your own, press
Mm-hmm.
your own juice.
Yeah.
That is the best orange juice because it's
Yummy.
straight out of literally you're just pressing oranges, no added sugar. It's amazing. Anyway, so
Yum.
as we said, we pick up right where we left off. Hanna is hit. Ashley finds out on her way home. She has that full bag of cash still with her, and she's made aware that Hanna is in the hospital, so she heads over ASAP. So all of the girls are hanging out just to hear what's happening with Hanna, and they're exhausted. Ashley relieves them, tells them that Hanna has a broken leg and bruised ribs, but she's ultimately going to be fine. So the girls are glad to hear that. Lucas is also there. He's glad to hear the news as well.
Lucas, some moments for you this episode, sir.
He had a few moments this episode. Yeah. Yeah, Lucas. And of course, the girls have to wait until the next morning to hear Hannah's A revelation. So Hanna awakens to her mother, and her priority straight away is get the girls back here. I need to talk to them. I want to see them. And she wants to tell them that Noel Khan is A. Now, it's season 1, episode 11. Noel Khan, are you A? Probably not.
No con is not A.
But they give you this is, your first taste of trickery in the show. And she also pushes Arya to tell the girls why she knows Noel Khan is A and that Arya and Mr. Fitz are a thing. And so Arya, she does tell the girls, and while they're extremely surprised, she then also believes that Noel didn't do it. She's like, no, this is not like him. He would have, I would have known. It's just not in his character. And also, the note didn't sign A. It says I see you, but doesn't say A.
Right. And I thought that. I thought whoever did that, which it's Noel, it's not from A.
Right. And
It's not.
Ezra and Arya meet up to discuss the note on the car, and Ezra's obviously freaked out because he should be. And Arya doesn't really make it a point to show that she's nervous, but inside she's shook. She's like, it's fine. It's fine.
You know what I
Nobody
couldn't
knows.
okay, with this note, and here's me nitpicking. So this I see you was written on condensation, or was that dust?
Well, so it was condensation and continuity. They redid it and did it in dust, even though it does not look at all the same. It's not authentic then that way.
Right. And it wouldn't last
No, it
overnight
wouldn't.
until the next day to talk about it hours later.
So true. It wouldn't.
Anyway,
But
we're moving on.
the writers needed to make something happen here. So while the girls are discussing Noel and Ezra at the hospital, Noel comes to the hospital and he sees Hannah, and Arya, escorts him outside. She questions his whereabouts. He tells her he was home all night and that they really need to talk. And so Arya's like, straight up lied to my face. She doesn't call him later, even though she told him that she would. And he finds her playing on the piano. This is also like probably the second and only time. I thought the singing thing disappeared completely.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the only other time that we see musical things happening here.
Okay, I was wondering that.
Yeah,
It's like, all
so
right.
he finds her at school and he tells her that yes, he did lie. He was on the campgrounds. He wanted to play a prank and scare the girls. But then he noticed Ezra and Arya, and he is concerned for her. And he wants her to go down to the principal's office. He wants to help her tell the principal whatever Ezra made her do.
Yeah, the
And
fact that he
so
thinks
good.
that he made her do something and that it's not appropriate and right and I want to help you. We're
Right.
all Noel Khan.
We're all no con, and he can't believe that she's like, oh no, this was actually consensual. He's not a predator, even though he is.
Yeah.
And she says, Noel, you need to promise me that you cannot tell anyone, that no one can know about this. Please, please promise me. And he kind of just is like, okay. Ezra and Arya have a meeting in the classroom, and the wiki page has this part summarized so beautifully that I'm going to verbatim read what they wrote. It says Ezra enters his classroom to find Arya sitting waiting for him. They jabber a bit about how Ezra makes Arya miserable sometimes, yet he doesn't make her unhappy. They decide to talk together. They decide to stay together while they stare into each other's eyes. I was like, whoever wrote this is like, they're on the level. They're on the total buddy level. You know what I'm
They
saying?
get it.
Perfect description
Ugh,
that she's like, you make me unhappy. Don't make me unhappy, but I'm also miserable when I'm with you. So, what a wonderful summary for a relationship.
great.
And then later, Ezra is leaving his classroom. He feels something suspicious in the building. And then we see Noel is lurking around in the halls watching him.
Yeah, Noel's onto it.
Yeah. So on to Spencer. She heads home to find Melissa there with Ian. Ian has
Okay,
spent the night.
yeah. But Ian enters the doorway, his shirt unbuttoned,
Ugh,
nothing like
ugh.
bare chested. He's just like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, oh my God, Ian.
He's so
Ew.
inappropriate. Put a
Yeah.
fucking shirt on. This is like, I don't care that it's just weird. Melissa went into the main house to, I don't remember what she was doing in there. And then she sees, he walks in on the moment that Spencer and Melissa are like hugging because Spencer's so upset about what happened to Hannah. And then Ian's like, oh, what happened? Like, I guess he didn't realize that Spencer was there, but still, it was just like, you're going to go into these people's home with your shirt undone after you guys have hooked up. Like, it's just, ooh, it's
It's so
cringy.
gross. And I don't know if it was this part or later, but he says, oh, by the way, practice is going to be canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, he's her coach. It's so bad. It's
So
so
bad. So bad.
icky.
Yeah. Melissa says they had a lot to catch up on, and that's why they
Code.
were hanging out
Sure.
tonight.
Catch up on.
Uh-huh. The girls also seem to have ruled out Ian being A, as they know he was with Melissa all night. You know, so he says.
Yeah, but
But
that's fine. But his
right,
name was still carved into the tree with Allie.
right. And
So something's up there.
that tree is now no longer there. It is conveniently chopped down when Spencer and Arya go to find it. And so what does this mean? Did A chop the tree down? Did Ian chop the tree down? Like nobody knows, which is great. And,
Mm-hmm.
in due time we will find out. But the tree is not there. And so after that day, Spencer heads home to find another surprise that Ian and Melissa eloped.
I, oh my God. I did not see this coming. I truly didn't. How could you?
No, no, you couldn't. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very quick, very, very quick.
Yeah.
Emily, she's happy to have Wayne home, and so is Pam. Both parents are still not warming up to the idea that Toby was a decent man and concerned that Emily is still harping on Toby. And so Emily even calls the jail to find out if Toby can have visitors. And Jenna overhears this and she scolds her right away, stating, he doesn't want to see you. This is the reason, you're the reason why he's in there to begin with. You and your friends, and he wants nothing to do with you. And it should just be me and Toby like it was originally. And then Emily gives her like some dig about dating her brother kind of thing. And she's
Right.
like, everyone always says you're the nice
I
one.
know you're the sweet one.
Ugh. I'm like,
Okay,
oh
Jenna.
God.
But also nice to see you because it's been a little while.
It is. It is nice. Pam and Wayne are in private and they're discussing how Wayne, they wish he was home more, and maybe if he was, Emily wouldn't be just so confused lately. Pam saying
Right.
she's confused.
The
And
values.
right. And Wayne then talks to Emily maybe about the confusion and about Toby and what's really going on in her mind. And she finally combusts and she tells her dad that she's gay. And he just kind of sits there on the bed with her, doesn't really say anything. He's quiet, but ultimately, I feel like his energy was still quite inviting and loving. It was just like, whoa, you just told me a humongous secret that you've
Yeah.
had that I was not expecting you to say.
Right. In his own way, I think he tried his best in the moment.
Yeah, I think so too. Wade and Pam, though, talk about this later, and this scene breaks my heart because Emily is on the top of the stairs and she's listening to her parents' conversation, and Wayne is just so happy that she's not on drugs or pregnant. Like this is like not the worst thing, and Pam is devastated, so devastated that this is her this is not her choice. This is not what she you just
How
I
she's
don't
gonna
even know what to say.
no, because she's like she's gonna screw up her life. This
This
is
is
not
how
the
just
future we wanted for our daughter.
right. She's gonna mess up her future. I'm like, how? How are you gonna mess up your
I know these
future?
aren't the values that we stand by.
It's very clear
Oh yeah,
what's happening here.
yeah,
And the scene hurt me so much. And Wayne is, like I said, definitely more understanding and worried about Emily's feelings, where Pam is just like worried about how this looks for her and how this is just, she feels like this is not the right path that her daughter should be taking, and something that she feels like maybe could be fixed, which, uh,
yeah.
dirty. Yeah.
Dirty.
Mm. Lastly, Hannah, she is in and out of sleeping from the medication that she's on. She's getting a lot of visits during her day, including from her friend Mona, who holds up the white bra comes in peace, and she helps Hannah get glam because she's been
I
in the
know.
hospital for like 24 hours and she's looking a little putrid, I guess. And Lucas, as we said, is visiting her, but he visits her this time while she's happened to be sleeping. It looks like it's later hours, and while she's sleeping, or so he thinks, he kisses her on the forehead, which
It's so creepy.
it is creepy. I know. I don't know. Like the action itself, to me, if I don't know, like if you were, but I love you so much. Like I'm trying to like put myself in someone else's shoes. Like, friends, I come in the middle of the night to see if you're like awake, and I kiss you on the forehead. Not that bad.
No, no, because he's in love with her.
Right. Right. That's
And
what makes it bad.
that's what makes it bad. And he snuck in there. It's dark. It looks like she's sleeping. Let me get super close to her. Let me kiss her fore. It's creepy on all levels. This
Yeah.
isn't like he doesn't view her as, oh my God, I'm so worried about my best friend. I'm in love with you, Hanna.
Yes. And so she brings it up to him when she sees him, stating she thought maybe it was a dream, or did you actually kiss me? And he's like, no, I did. And she tries to friend zone him like again, but this time this is like really perturbs him. He's like, no, I don't, you, this is starting to upset me, and you're too good for Sean, and I don't think he's a good boyfriend. You deserve someone else. And Hannah's like, that's between me and Sean. Like, I think she handled it as best she possibly could.
She handled it great. And
Yeah.
he flipped out because he didn't like the answer. And her saying, I don't like you like that. And you're my friend, and friends don't really do that.
Right. Like you're trying to take it to another level, and we're not going to go there.
And he thinks because he thought maybe she saw it that it was okay. Boy,
Yeah.
no, icky. Not good,
Yeah.
Lucas.
You're
Not
right.
good.
You're right. It's not good.
It's not good.
And so he leaves and he's upset. And on top of that, we know Ashley is struggling financially, and she has got that purse full of cash, and Hannah's begging her, please don't give me a private room. I can stay in a double room. Like, I don't need you to spend any extra money. And then Ashley makes up a lie about getting a loan and not to worry, which technically I guess she does have a loan.
It's true. That is true.
And Hannah's like, oh, great. That's so great. Probably, the weight lifted off her shoulders. But Hannah then falls back asleep. She's in and out of consciousness again. And she has a dream of
Or was it
Allie,
a
or
dream?
was it a dream? Where Allie comes to visit her. She says, I had to come. I had to know that you were okay. This bitch A is really getting on my nerves. You know the whole story. This is the first time you see a very dramatic scene of innuendos, if you will, of you know what's happening, remember, just kind of something like a little bit more supernatural. This happens way more as the show progresses. That's why this show just gets even more crazy.
Uh huh.
So the audience and Hannah, we don't really know. Is this really Allie? Is this a dream? And so then Hannah looks at the styrofoam cup that's in her room, and just so happens to have the same shade of lipstick on it. And so
Right.
she's like, I'm tripping. I am tripping.
Yeah.
And she's so just all over the place. And the girls come in, and she's just like, what's going on? And they see on her cast is a message from A, and it's sorry about losing my temper. My bad. Love A. And she is like,
So
get this fucking cast
creepy.
off of me. So creepy.
Yeah, like,
But that's not the end of the episode.
no, it's not.
The episode ends with someone burning the piece of tree that says Allison and Ian on it. So I did too.
Also, the fact that the girls are now thinking that there's multiple A's
Right.
and there's not just one, which is
Right. Right. Which is
very
a
interesting.
very valid thought process,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it would be hard for one person to act alone. And also, like, they're probably thinking, well, is A the same person that actually killed Allie? Because it
Right.
doesn't seem to me maybe matching up here. So, yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of A lot of shit's happening with RA. Let me fill you in. Let me fill everyone in. So, our A this week, A from Rosewood, PA, sends us a little poem, if you will. It says, Wednesday's pod is full of woe, and someone you just still don't know. Lies and rumors rule the show when every guess you make is wrong, and all the Bettys play along. Lies just serve to make me strong. Wait and see what A can do. Alarmed because you never knew. Lies you've told now will haunt you. And
Wow.
then this A also addressed the copycat A. And they CC'd us in an email with a liar is a liar. And it says, I'm the alpha and the omega and one true A.
What?
Imitation may be the sincerest form of flattery, but I, for one, am not amused by uninspired antics of a copycat. I'm just gonna say, Mike and I DM'd on the side a little bit about Teen Wolf, and so him saying Alpha and Omega would make sense.
There you go.
Also, that second email came in slightly near when his questions email came in.
What time of day did these emails come in?
I will tell you right now.
Okay, and the one on Instagram?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't like that. Who does that belong to? One of the emails?
I don't think so.
That one's we are. Oh, right. We wouldn't know, right? We are liars.
You
Pod
know
are
what's
liars.
interesting is when I was on Reddit a lot this week, researching some stuff, the symbol for the A is the same symbol they use on the Instagram account.
Yeah.
So it would be fun if it was like someone random on the forums. So at 1:11 p.m., so 5 hours ago, that CC'd email from A from Rosewood, PA to us and a liar is a liar came in. So that was 5 hours ago. But the original A email that came in this week was at the poetry with 17 hours, 1:12 a.m.
Right.
our time.
And the Instagram that we got, the DM we got this week, which I did not like, was at 3:11 in the morning.
Wow.
So I'm just thinking of our Bettys and their time zones.
Time zones. Yep. Canadian can work.
Right.
Right.
But also different country could work too.
Different country.
Depending.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
So I still think it's Mike, but hey, we might have, as we said each week, an A team on our hands. So
I think there's a team. We should collect these and make a reel. And
we should.
Like these responses we've been getting, because come hunt with us. Let's find A.
Let's hunt. All right, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with your segments. This week's Rosewood Shop ice cream flavor is Cold Stone Creamery The Way the Cookie Crumbles. Made with classic cookie dough ice cream, has a crunch of Oreo cookies mixed with cookie dough. I chose this flavor because the saying the way the cookie crumbles is having to accept the way things are, and this fits with this episode on so many levels. Ezra and Arya have to accept that their secret is out. Emily's parents, more so her mom, accepting Emily for who she is, even though this is clearly something Pam is refusing to accept. Ashley running into money trouble and now has to be ready to deal with any ramifications from stealing that money. And finally, after Hannah's accident, all four liars have to now realize that A isn't playing around and isn't afraid to hurt them.
Yeah, good job. Now I want ice cream, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I would love just a good sundae.
I would love that too. I would love some ice cream.
I wonder if Aunt will run out because it's guys' night.
Oh, yeah. Well, DoorDash.
I know, right?
It's just so expensive.
So expensive.
Okay. All right. Hope you enjoyed your break. We are back with some trivia. All I have is that this is the first episode that aired in 2011 after 147 days hiatus, or a 4-month and 25-day hiatus. So,
okay.
Questions. Will says, does Melissa marrying Ian raise his stock in Spencer's mind? I predict she tries to sleep with him in less than 3 episodes.
Spencer?
What do you think?
Oh my God.
I know,
Please don't. I'm not predicting that, Will, because I still think he's a suspect, and I don't think she'll sleep with the suspect.
Yeah, I think she's too creeped out by him.
I think Ian, maybe he'll continue to be a little creepy. Plus, that means that we would have 2 teachers involved with students.
Oh, right. Ugh.
Ew.
Cringy.
Yeah.
I feel like how many times on this podcast can I say the word cringy? We should have a cringy counter.
I know we should.
Because I've said cringe probably every single I've said it. I've definitely every single episode.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure I've said creepy too.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Vic says, "What were your thoughts when Hannah said Noel was A? Did you think Noel will do anything about Mr. Fitz?"
I laughed when they said Noel Khan is A. I think Noel won't do anything just yet because he did promise Arya, and I think he will keep his promise.
Who did you immediately think was A? Or did you think, obviously, I could assume that you weren't going to think we were going to get an A revelation, right? Like we knew this wasn't going to be A, but what would you did you expect? Who did you expect Hannah to come clean with? I guess.
I don't know, but it doesn't shock me that it's Noel. Like I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that it was. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I thought too much about it, to be honest.
Okay. Kate adds, "Were you surprised that he is the voice of reason with Azaria?"
I'm not because I think anybody with a sound mind is the voice of reason. Even all her friends are know this is a bad idea. Yeah, her and Spencer have that talk, and Spencer's like, "Do you really think this is a good idea?" Even though this is really hot, like as a girlfriend would say.
Uh huh.
But we all know it's not a good idea.
Right. Right. Yeah. Spencer's like, "I don't really know how to navigate this
Right.
that you told me. It's really weird, but also I get it."
Right. And also Spencer's not one to talk.
Right. No. And, it's her friend. So she's not going to be like, well,
Yeah.
Spencer is the one out of all of them to probably
Mm-hmm.
say, like, nah, you're doing something bad here.
Yeah.
But then again, she's done some fucked up shit herself. So,
Right.
yeah. Do you think Hannah should have told Lucas how she felt sooner?
No. Was it necessary to? I feel like she wasn't leading him on.
Right. I mean, Vic says it seems like she knew that he liked her, which, yeah, I guess so, but she probably didn't play into it because she didn't want to lead him on.
Right. And I feel like it didn't get to a point where he like asked her out on a date or I don't know. I don't think so. Because
Right.
to bring it up out of not nowhere, I guess, but no. Not necessary, I don't think.
Okay. Kate says, was Allie really there? So if you had to say 50, 100% yes, 100% no at this moment in time, do you think Allie was actually there?
I'm so torn on this,
I know.
honestly, because I'm like, how good would it be of her being there and her being like, I had to come make sure you're okay. This A is really pissing me off. I had to get away. Like that whole thing was so creepy. Like I had to escape and they're going to come find me. So I have to go now. It was like she snuck in and snuck out.
Yep.
But I think Hannah imagined her.
Okay. Were you actually glad we didn't have Sean in this episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been missing. His girlfriend's in the hospital and we don't have
I
time for the
know.
actor.
It's really weird.
Yeah, they mentioned him. Oh, Sean was here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Mike says, "Do you think whoever cut the tree down also planted another one to make up for it?" I hope so.
I know they didn't.
But no, I don't think that this person was thinking about the environment at that point.
Yeah. Part of me thinks Ian cut it down because I don't think Ian is A, but I think Ian obviously had something with Allie. And now that he's back in town and he knows they marked this tree, I think he is the one who cut it down. And then him and Melissa are burning it. I don't
Mm.
think Melissa actually can see what it says.
Okay, so like he chopped it down. He's like, let's use it for firewood.
While we have sex. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the wedding dress that Melissa was wearing was the one she was actually going to wear to her and Ren's wedding? I don't think so. It was like a cocktail dress.
No.
She's way more like elaborate than that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a dream like Hannah? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ever have a dream like Hannah did of Allie that felt like it was so real that you woke up thinking that it was real?
All the time.
You do?
Yeah. Well, in the past. Oh, for sure. All the time. Did I tell you
Yeah.
my dream that I had last week?
No.
I had a dream. that a stray cat shot me in the leg. I was petting the cat and then it just stood up and just pointed a gun at me and shot me in the leg. And I was like, and I woke up and I walked out to the kitchen and I said, Aunt, I just had a dream that a cat shot me in the leg. And I don't even know how they did that because they don't have thumbs.
That is one wild dream to have.
Yeah, it sounds comical, but I promise you it was not
Oh no,
comical.
I'm sure at the moment and you dreaming it, you were afraid for
Yeah,
sure.
super creepy. What about you?
Not one that I can like recall right at the second, but I've definitely in the past have had ones that I not fully awake, but like
Yeah.
as I'm coming out of the dream, being like, "Oh wow, that's so great that I got to do this," or "This person is here or there," or whatever, and then I open my eyes. I'm like, "You dumb bitch! It's not,
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
not real."
Yeah.
It's usually like better things than like
Yes.
scary things. Like it's the good things that you want to wake up and have them actually be
I
real.
know. I know.
Yeah. Last question. Do you think A is male or female identifying?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't see them as a gender.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not really sure. It could go either way, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting that
Yeah.
you
Very
have
exciting.
no gut feeling on that.
No,
All right. Did you have any favorite moments of cringe or any fashion that you liked?
I really liked Melissa's pearl necklace. I thought that was really pretty. And which it is in fashion, but like the cringe moment was Ian coming, like standing in the doorway with the unbuttoned shirt.
Yeah,
I
I
just thought it was
agree.
so inappropriate.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. You?
What about a that no, that honestly was probably the cringiest part. I could say anything with Ezra and Arya, but
I
like at
know.
this point,
I know.
I'm like, just forget about them. But yeah, I have to agree. Ian just being really he's just creepy. He's just and the way he like looks back at Spencer,
Yes.
why?
Why? I know.
It's almost like he's like I don't know, just he just seems very manipulating
Yep.
because he got Melissa to forgive and forget real quick and marry him. And the girl he used to do, well, no, I guess not, but had, a summer fling with is her sister. And he's just acting so, it's almost like it never happened. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very weird. It's very weird. But then again, I guess that's what happens when you hook up with a 16-year-old.
I
You're like,
don't like it.
gotta forget that.
I don't like it.
Yeah. What about a quote?
No con is A.
I have take it from me, you're always better off with a really good lie. And that is the Reddit header. So that is like a huge quote that people quote over and over again for the PLL world. It's just very nostalgic to me to hear her in her candy striper dress. It's so reminiscent of 2010. But I did explore the Reddit page a little bit this weekend, like I said, and I did get some insight on the Toby Jenna.
Yeah.
And um I honestly, for reasons I cannot say now and we'll explore later, but I honestly, Toby was thanking Allie for blinding Jenna. Yeah, it seems to be that way. And you'll see why a little bit, I think, later on. I don't want to give it away. It's a little bit to be assumed, I guess, by the tone of what Toby is saying, how his and Jenna's relationship was. But without giving too much away, he seemed to make it apparent that it was not always consensual. I'll just leave it at that. But I don't remember when we get that or if people have just like assumed that. So we'll see. Yeah.
Mind blown right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll be looking at Jenna Marshall in a different light because I don't really recall all of that. This shit gets dark. I tell you, it gets dark.
I mean, it's already getting dark. We're just like, I
Yeah.
feel like we're
And
just
we're just starting.
climbing the roller coaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. What about an MVP? Who did you choose this week?
So I chose Hannah, my girl Hannah. But a little shout out and a blue ribbon for Emily.
Yeah. I actually chose Wayne. I felt like
Okay.
he approached the situation the best he knew how to at that moment, and um didn't quite seem like he was judging obviously as much as Pam was, and I appreciate him just going in there and being like, let's just talk, let's talk, like what's going on with you. I just a concerned parent where she can't open up that way to Pam at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did give Emily a blue ribbon, and we had the most votes for Emily for her coming out this episode. Shittiest,
Pam.
yeah, that's what I picked. We had the most votes for Pam, and we also had a vote for Ian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Icky.
Yeah,
He's just icky.
icky. Yeah. All right, it's time for my Betty of the week.
Yay.
This week, I have chosen Molly.
Molly.
Our girl Molly. She has started her Friday Night Lights journey.
So excited for
Finally.
her.
Yes. And so she's catching up on the show and on the podcast, and she's sending her thoughts in the Discord. So it's been a while since we've heard from her, and I just felt really, it just was really good to chat with her a little bit. And we just wanted to shout her out and say thank you for your continued support, and thank you for listening to the pods and being a pledge.
Thanks, Molly.
Okay, so what about an emoji? I was torn. I had maybe hospital, but don't worry, there'll be many other episodes with hospital, so I feel like maybe we shouldn't use that.
I had two ideas.
Okay.
One, the teddy bear emoji,
Oh, cute, cute.
or the log.
The log. Yes. I also had a tree, but I didn't realize there was a log. So let's
Yes.
do the log. That's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Put that log that probably looks like a piece of poop in an Apple Podcast
So it looks like
review.
logs.
It looks like a log for when you have to log. Like when you listen to this podcast, you're put anyway, I'm going in circles.
Woo.
Anyway, so if you would care to drop a log in a podcast review, that would be awesome. If you want to send it on Discord, Instagram, we will check those, even email. We just want to know that you're listening, that you got to the end of the episode. We appreciate you listening each and every week. And if you're enjoying and you haven't left a review, this would be the time to, hey, take out your phone. I'm sure you're holding it. If you're driving, don't take out your phone. But if you're parked, just go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a little rating and review just to show that you are enjoying. It would mean the world to us.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for the title for next week and my little secret. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Liz.
All right, so the title for episode 12 with our patron, Rihanna, I am so excited. I think it's been a
Yay!
really, really long time
I know.
since we've actually had her on a podcast, and she's been with us since the Tree Hill Talk days. So that will be fun for next week. Make sure to send questions in for her. And the title for episode 12 is Salt Meets Wound.
Okay.
And my secret is that we find out who destroyed the memorial next week.
Ooh.
Any guesses on who it is?
Part of me feels like it's Lucas because he had the dirty shoes.
He did.
And I just think he can do some things like being spiteful, but I actually think who destroyed the memorial is not A.
Is not A. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's multiple people that are just pissed off. And whoever's sending the messages is A. But like I said, I don't think A chopped down the tree. I think whoever destroyed the memorial is an A.
Okay.
Like maybe Allie had a lot of skeletons in her closet and now they're all coming out or a little forward, and I think Lucas would destroy the memorial because she was awful to him.
Right, yeah.
So
and he wants no memory of her.
No.
Yeah. Well, Hannah's coming back home from the hospital next week, so
Cool.
she'll be reacclimated into the real world.
Okay.
And she's in a wheelchair, so fun times for her.
Yeah. She broke that leg.
She broke the leg. She bruised the ribs, but she's going to make it. And we'll be back next week for episode 12. We are more than halfway done with season 1. This is very exciting. And thank you for listening. And, keep chugging on this podcast. If you're catching up and you've made it, welcome. We are so happy to have
Hey!
you. And join us for the rest of the second half of this wild show this is like the tame, as Seth was saying last week. This is the tame part of the show.
It makes
So
sense. I think we're
it
we're
does.
laying some foundation here. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. Until next week.